Hello. So I wanted to do another kind of mini class, and this one is about coaching yourself. And this is so crucial within the coaching process to learn how to bring whatever tools you learn within coaching into your life. This model, it's called the coaching model or the self-coaching model. And it's really similar to cognitive behavioral therapy techniques. And so cognitive behavioral therapy is within psychology, pretty much that your thought patterns affect your emotions, and in turn your emotions can affect your behaviors. So in the coaching model, it's a little bit different. I find it to be super useful. So I have a lot of notes that I'll be reading off of. I hope this isn't like backwards on camera, but so we have circumstance, thoughts, feelings, actions, and results. So this is the process we'll be going through. So circumstances can trigger your thoughts, thoughts cause your feelings cause actions, and actions cause results. And I want to sort of preface this with, this is a tool that you can use, and if it works for you, awesome. If you're like not in the right frame of mind and you need to just really feel your feelings, and I'll go into this later, the importance of feeling our feelings and not gaslighting ourselves into like changing our thoughts right off the bat. Like we need to first feel our feelings and kind of go through that process, which is what I talked about in the last video with the anxiety and panic attack help, is just really like grounding into your body, like feeling your feelings in a somatic way in order to work through them, and just the full acceptance of the feelings. And then after I do something like that, sometimes I go into a model like this, and sometimes I can go straight into this model. So yeah, I'm gonna just try to like hold this up because it's easier to follow when you can see it. So circumstances. Circumstances are facts. They are things that can be basically proven in a court of law. They are, I think of like the Buddhist philosophy of emptiness, where circumstances are empty of meaning. They're just something that happens, something that is, and we subject them to some type of meaning. So circumstances, I see them as kind of like energetically neutral, if you will. They're just facts. They're things that happened that we haven't yet attached our thoughts or feelings to. So I'll go into some examples in a little bit. So thoughts are sentences in your head about the circumstance. And these are like pretty automatic. Like we go through our lives just going through this process in our head sometimes so quickly that we don't even know like we're not aware of the breakdown of the steps or the process that we are going through in our minds. So yeah, thoughts are sentences in your head. So for example, a circumstance is something like, I am 130 pounds, right? I can get on the scale. That's the weight that I see. That's a fact. A thought can be, oh God, that's too much, or oh God, that's not enough. That's a thought that we're having about that circumstance, right? Another example of like those first two, circumstance and thoughts. So circumstance, I have a coaching session or I have a therapy session. Thought is, oh God, I'm not prepared. What do I even talk about? I don't even want to do this session. I don't even want to talk about my feelings, Another circumstance, my husband, my partner was on the phone while I'm talking to him. So that's a circumstance. And that one is tricky because I can just feel like when I've worked with clients on this and just with myself, I can feel something like that, feeling very energetically charged. And, in relationships, like this model is so important to go through. Like that circumstance, partner is on the phone while I'm trying to talk to them. Thought, they don't care about what I'm saying. They don't care about me. Yeah. That one can be intense for people. That thought can feel very gripping, and the feeling can feel very gripping. Another one is a circumstance could be she broke up with me, and a thought could be I am unlovable, no one will compare to her, I'll never find love again, I must be a fraud, like, yeah, I'm reflecting on like how intense these this model can be or this like process of thinking can be in like a relationship context and with your relationship towards yourself. So yeah, circumstance, she broke up with me, thought I must not be enough, I'm unlovable. When that circumstance, there could be other thoughts associated with that, and we'll get into that in a second. So a thought is not a circumstance, it is not a fact, it is a thought in your head. And when we go down to feelings, a feeling is essentially a vibration in your body. Like, this is how I like to think of feelings. It's like if we sink down into our bodies and we notice we're feeling any certain way, I like to kind of bring attention to like what areas I'm feeling this vibratory sensation in. I like to think of the qualities of that thing, or even if I can associate like a color or something to that thing that I'm feeling. So examples of feelings are things like anxious, frustrated, mad, sad, resentful, proud, fearful, confident, like all of those can be feelings, right? So actions are, this is the A line, are what you do, don't do, or react. So actions, inaction, and reactions. So an action is what your feelings basically cause you to do, like drive you to do. And the R line is the results, and the results are consequences of your actions, inactions, or reactions. So the consequences of the A line, the action, reaction, or inaction. So distinguishing between thoughts and feelings is critical within this model. So understanding that our thoughts cause our feelings is how we learn kind of to feel better without changing our circumstances. So I want to go through a couple examples just to kind of like solidify this in our minds. So an example is the circumstance, she breaks up with you. It's a circumstance, it's a fact, right? The thought could be, I am not enough, I am unlovable, I'll never find love again, really gripping, intense thoughts, right? The feeling could be angry, sad, disheartened, just the gamut. There could be a lot of feelings here. And the action could be numbing yourself out, drinking, calling and screaming at her. The action could be, screaming at yourself, just like feeling such anger. The action is just like a result of like the self-loathing. And the result could be more sadness, more anger, more frustration, more self-loathing. Like it's this cycle that it can just make everything stronger when we come from that thought of I'm not enough, I'm not lovable, just like the self-hatred, the self-loathing. The result is also going to be based in self-loathing, is going to amplify that potentially, And so the next example is circumstance. I'm 130 pounds. Thoughts, let's say that is not enough. I should be bigger and stronger. I am weak. And then maybe too, I hate myself. Just kind of the snowball effect. The feeling could be frustrated, ashamed. The action could be to work out so hard that you like throw up. The action could be, trying to like eat so much food and work out so hard that it consumes like most of your day, just like thinking about the calories and thinking about the exercising, and it takes so much like energy and time. It takes time away from your family and your friends, and that result could be, well, feeling sick, feeling off, not balanced. Like the result of like eating too much, over exercising, could be exhaustion. It could be even more frustrated. It could be really, really tense muscles. It could be potential injury, things like that, right? So let's go to our positive intention. So we just went through like the negative cycle of like some possibilities of these different steps, right? So the positive intention for that first one of she broke up with me, the thought, instead of all that, like, what am I making this mean about me as a person, the not enoughness, the unlovable, the I'll never find someone else, maybe we can shift this to the possibility that your thought could be, well, maybe I have more work to do on myself. That could be a possibility. Another possibility, and I want to add, maybe I have more work to do on myself, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. I'm growing and I'm learning. Another possible thought could be, this doesn't mean I'm not enough. There are others out there who could be even better partners for me. So kind of like a trust in there being other people out there, just like an opening of the mind about that. And the feeling could be hopeful. The action could be to journal, to meditate, to reflect, maybe to feel your feelings, to maybe like think about the kind of partner you want to be with, to think about how you want to feel with that person. And the result could be, more grounded, more balanced, calm, trust in the process. And I want to just reiterate here that when you are gripped in feeling, sometimes you just need to feel it. Like sometimes you just need to follow that feeling and sit with it. And again, that's the practice I talked about in the last video, learning how to do that, learning how to sit with that discomfort of your feelings. And then once you've done that, and even if you're still so sad, and even if you're going through like a roller coaster of emotion, at least you have this like foundation of like, okay, I'm gonna sit with myself. I'm not scared of my feelings. I'm gonna feel it and I'm gonna get through it. And if I can sit with myself enough times with this discomfort, and I can know that I can survive it each time, sitting with it and facing those feelings that we never wanna feel, that should be proof and should give some hope to like, okay, it's gonna take time, but I can come back to sitting and feeling these things each day, and I'm gonna be okay. And so kind of after that process of being with your feelings and going through this and noticing the positive intention can be really, really helpful. And I'll talk about that a little bit more later. So the next circumstance that we talked about was the I'm 130 pounds. The thought could be like, and this is the positive intention, yeah, that's the circumstance, right? That's the fact. I don't have to force myself into gaining weight. My body is healthy. Yes, I'd love to gain weight, but it will absolutely happen with consistent effort and kindness towards myself. It's like this deep like trust in the process, and that, it's about the journey. This process may be slow, and that is okay. I will listen to my body throughout this process. And of course, you can do this with gaining weight, losing weight, whatever you want to do, whatever the situation is. And so the feeling that comes from those thoughts, and I already feel like in my own body as I'm talking about like these, just different thoughts, like more positive thoughts, positive intention, like there's a relaxation. And so the feeling from like, this process may be slow, and that's okay. I will listen to my body throughout the process. I know I'll get there. The feeling is excited, hopeful, calm, things like that. And the action could be, finding a workout that day that feels really good to you, eating nourishing meals, spending time celebrating yourself for taking this step towards change. And the result could be feeling motivated, hopeful, happy, in touch with your body, and just trusting of the process. It's such a different, and then coming from this sort of like energetic place, like we're way more likely to stick with, trying to reach those goals, right? Like from that place of self-hatred and forcing yourself and just like pushing yourself so hard and making yourself do things that you don't want to do, like that's a quick way to burn yourself out and give up completely, because oftentimes we do have this like all or nothing mentality. And so coming from this place of like excited, hopeful, calm, it'll be a slow process, I'm going to listen to my body, that's a way more sustainable model, right? And so coming back to sort of like, we don't want to gaslight ourselves, right? If I'm feeling bad, I like to just do like a brain dump where I will write down everything I'm feeling. I will let it all out. I'll let myself feel those things. I'll let myself process those things. I'll take time, and then I'll use the coaching model to just imagine alternate scenarios, like alternate ways that I could think, and then how that can lead to results, and what results my thoughts could lead me to. And then I can choose, okay, like, do I want to pursue this model, or do I want to pursue the other model that leads me into some pretty bad results? Yeah. So our brains are really good at tricking us into believing there's only one thing going on here, like how we're feeling is the truth, is the reality. And when I think of like, okay, someone breaking up with us means like, for sure I'm not enough. If someone doesn't answer my text in a timely manner, it means they hate me or they're mad at me, and it's like, sometimes it's really, really hard to zoom out and see like alternate possibilities, alternate scenarios, alternate realities, because we're so consumed with like the drama of our own minds. And I'll go into this in another video maybe, but confirmation bias is super strong. So if we think our history is proof to us that, this thought is true, it can be hard to zoom out and see other possibilities. And that's why something like this is really, really key, I think. So it's important in these moments where we're just really gripped by our thoughts and feelings to just take some time to try to like zoom out and break it down in this really like distinct way where like, okay, what is the circumstance, the fact at hand, and then distinguishing the circumstance from your thoughts, because we can often just mistake our thoughts and our feelings with our circumstance. And just notice what else could be true. Like, what else could be true? What else could be a reality that we're just like not picking up on because we are so consumed with our thoughts and our feelings? So I think that is all I want to talk about. It's such a useful model. Practice this. If you have any questions, reach out. I'm doing one-to-one coaching. It's my favorite thing in the world. And if you're interested in coaching with me, we talk through this a lot, and we really kind of understand how it can work for you. Thanks for watching.